Basements. It's Anthony here at Dice Tower East, and I'm sitting here at Aries Games. You guys might know them for a little game called The Thing, which I absolutely love, amongst other titles. I mean, there's a whole laundry list of games that you probably have in your library right now. These guys are awesome, and I was actually kind of excited to come on over and talk to them here today. I have Jim here, who is, I think, the reigning champion of The Thing game, last he told me. And he was going to go through one of these games. This game caught our eye. Forgive me if I said Cangaceiros, is that it?
Cangaceiros, you got it.
And it looked kind of cool. I guess it's coming out towards Gen Con time or anything
exactly.
like that?
So it's somewhere between the docks of Hong Kong and your local retail store.
That's a long trip.
That is a long trip post-COVID.
So tell me about it. What's going on here? Why is it so pretty?
So most Americans don't know much about this period of history in Brazil. It's very much a Robin Hood story. The Cangaceiros were either people who aligned themselves with the working class and were trying to overthrow the rulers of the area, or they were banditos who were trying to upset the social order. So you play one of the Cangaceiros chieftains, and you're trying to accumulate fame, and by doing that, by becoming basically the most famous Cangaceiro of the land.
So Robin Hood.
You're Robin Hood. You're absolutely Robin. That's fair. You're Robin Hood.
That's awesome. This looks like a lot. This looks really cool. I like the art design is really nice. Board layout looks good. It's definitely not small for sure.
And there's a lot going on, but it's a very straightforward game.
Okay.
Everybody starts with a unique chieftain.
All right.
And your chieftain can either retire, play the whole game, or actually the chieftain can be killed, which doesn't put you out of the game. It merely causes your gang to elect a new chieftain. So no one's ever out. You're encouraged to take risks. You're encouraged to move forward.
Is it worker placement?
What's going to happen is you're going to start with your chieftain, your Cangaceiros chieftain. You start in a neutral space. Everyone starts in the center of the map. You're going to have 7 cards to start. And those 7 cards, everybody's hand is the same. You got to pick 3 things to do every round, and there are 7 rounds.
Okay.
You're going to play 3 cards, and so they'll let you do things like move and pillage, or move and leave a garrison, or our favorite, move and fight.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, totally.
You're fighting against the Volantes, which were the rural police, which were charged with capturing the Cangaceiros and bringing them to prison. So, on your turn...
Please do that.
Yes, exactly. Pro-establishment.
Very on brand. Very on brand for them.
Exactly. So when you move around, you're trying to figure out how to grow your gang. So if you take a look at one of the gang symbols, here's a chief, and their gang starts off with just the chief. But over the course of time, they'll be allowed to grow their gang based on how they pillage and what they do, which will increase the capacity of their gang. Combat is actually really cool and my favorite part of the game. When you encounter a Volantes and you're going to try to attack them, you'll take your chief plus their gang and you'll fight against the Volantes. The mechanic is very, very straightforward. Over the course of the game, the Volantes get harder and harder, but in this case, turn 1 of a 3-player game, they start out with 0 firepower, 2 defense, and 0 melee. If this chief right here were fighting him, we'd say he starts with, let me pull a card here.
Okay.
I'm going to pull, I don't see the red deck, but I'll pull this one. But he says, I'm going to play a card that lets me attack.
Oh.
Okay, so every turn you play a card, and the card tells you what to do. So in this case, this card says I'm going to move, and then I'm going to attack. And there's an upper and a lower part. So one part is an action where you can pillage and do prep. The top part of the card is the attack. So in this case, as we look at this, we go, this card adds 1 to my firepower, 0 to my defense, and 0 to my melee. Okay.
Lots of fighting.
Lots of fighting.
So
if I add it to this chieftain, who can grow an ability, this chieftain then would be a 3 firepower, a 1 defense, and a 0 melee.
Yeah.
Okay.
Awesome.
What's the Volantes do? I draw 1 Volante counter for each token in the space, and I align this with their Volantes card, and they grow in power over the course of the game. As you might expect, they get a little bit better as time goes on. So in this case, a 0, a 4, and a 0. 2 rounds of combat the first time you shoot at each other.
Yeah.
So our 3 versus their 4 means they defend themselves. No damage gets taken.
Yeah.
Their 0 against our 1, no damage gets taken.
Very cool.
Okay, so you get
So
defense when you got firepower.
Right.
Melee just does damage. So in the case of melee cannot be resisted, so melee tends to settle the fight if you have any points at all. In this case,
So you have like multiple avenues of attack.
exactly.
That's
So
cool.
in this case,
and I like the upgrade system and
Yes.
everything. That looks really nice.
and as you can, one of the things that you can do with your action cards is you can actually train your chieftain. So when this chieftain gets trained and they start to remove these tokens to make themselves better,
Right.
not only the chieftains accumulate the ability to take more wounds, but they also make their game better.
Right.
Now, in the course of the game, what's going to happen is once your chieftain is fully trained and they start gathering loot in the form of vengeance, cooperation, their gang gets bigger, they start gathering money, they're going to be able to take a look and accomplish a life goal.
Oh, so you have goals.
So you have goals. Goals are worth victory points. So in this case,
You got kind of everything in this game.
exactly. Try to do it. If your gang gets to the point where there are 4 Cangaceiros
Yeah.
with your leader that are in this first row right here, in the firearms row, you can claim that and get 9 victory points. Your chieftain retires. This person goes away. You get to draw a new chieftain.
Sweet.
They learn new stuff.
That's my favorite chieftain right there.
There we go. Lydia?
I dated her a few times.
Okay.
We won't talk about that.
Dada.
This game looks really cool. Is it coming out? It's coming out in Gen Con time.
Gen Con time frame in August. We'll have some copies at Gen Con, and it should hit retail shops about the same time or maybe a week later.
Awesome. We're gonna put some info below, guys. This game actually looks really, really cool. Ares Publishing. I don't even have to tell you these guys are everywhere. And honestly, Jim, I don't see a thing on here, but just for future reference, maybe you could throw it in there. Maybe one of the Cangaceiros is a thing.
Cangaceiros.
He could be a trader. He can eat the other Cangaceiros, maybe.
Perfect. I like it.
You like it?
I like
Awesome.
it. I like it.
We'll develop that one together.
All right. Sounds good.
Thanks, guys, for joining me here at Dice Tower East. Ares Publishing. I don't even have to tell you. Just come over to the booth, check this game out. It actually looks like a lot of fun, a lot of in-depth stuff, and I'm looking forward to not being a thing, but being an awesome. Say that word again for me. Cangaceiros.
Cangaceiros.
Cangaceiros, guys. Don't forget, as always, even when you're Robin Hood or a Cangaceiros, just game on.